I'd like to thank our sponsor, the New West End Company. The New West End Company is the business improvement district for London's West End, representing businesses across Bond Street, Oxford Street and Regent Street and their connecting streets. Over the last 10 years, they've raised and invested £50 million, and they want to continue to drive jobs and growth and address congestion and poor air quality in London's retail heartland. It's easy to take the West End for granted. It's an incredibly important part of London, and it's important that we have organisations like the New West End helping it grow and prosper.
Thank you to you all for coming. Thank you for the candidates for coming. Of the three elections in the Labour Party at the moment, this is the one with the most immediate prospect of power, of real power in a very large world city.
London is a city which is best when it's bold, and its city leadership has been remembered for when it's brave.
I love this city. I've lived here all my adult life. My children were born and have grown up here. It's the greatest city in the world.
I worry there are too many Londoners today whose potential has not been fulfilled. And that anxiety goes right up the income scales.
This is the youngest city in the country, the average age now 34. It will move over the span of the next 10 years to a majority-minority city.
We are the economic powerhouse of the UK. We create almost a quarter of the UK's wealth. I just happen to think that we should be allowed to spend a little bit more of that wealth ourselves, tackling the huge challenges that London faces.
Unless we adopt an agenda that embraces environmental issues, which are at the heart of Londoners' concern over air quality, over congestion, over other aspects of the environment, green spaces and the like, we cannot win this election.
I want, for example, to give streets and communities the power to pedestrianise and create 1,000 play streets for our young people across the city.
More of my constituents, and I think many people in outer London in general, want to see an extra runway built at Heathrow.
This may well be the trigger to get a proper focus on the illegal levels of air pollution along the North Circular Oxford Street.
One of the things that Christian talked about months ago was his vision of pedestrianising Oxford Street. And you know, one of the things that Boris Johnson talked about is planting more trees. I want to see from Hyde Park up until Centre Point, trees planted on both sides, which will improve air quality and it being fully pedestrianised.
Let me just say something about Oxford Street. My team is somewhere out there, has been handing out leaflets showing my visualisation of what Oxford Street would look like.
It's very exciting, by the way.
And it's an absolutely no-brainer, particularly with the arrival of Crossrail. Congestion, again, something we haven't mentioned. I would like a more flexible congestion charge, a congestion charge that on bad air quality days, for example, might be doubled.
I think the West End is a fundamental part of London's economy, and actually at the moment there are real issues. There are issues with congestion, and when I speak to people there are real issues with crime.
We're going to get Crossrail bringing in literally 1,000 people by every train, and I don't think that Oxford Street can cope with being a bus park and to some extent a cab rank that hardly moves during the day.
I think it's really important to support the West End, and one of the things we have to do is reduce congestion and make the West End a more walkable area. I would encourage more people to bicycle. I would encourage more transport infrastructure like Crossrail too, and I would certainly look at pedestrianising areas of the West End. Where it's been tried, it's been very successful.
Air quality along that part of Oxford Street is one of the worst in the world. Just think about that. One of the richest countries in the world has one of the worst air quality in the world.
No other city in the world would tolerate its premier shopping street being so polluted and just clogged up with buses all day.
Well, I published a report with Policy Exchange just a few months ago, raising real issues around shoplifting and nothing being done about it, real issues around business rates, really crushing independent shops, but a lot of big retailers as well. So actually, I think if you speak to retailers, they're not happy. They're not at all happy. And actually, a mayor for London, yes, must support the city, but we've also got to think very hard about what's going on for our traditional West End.
I think we have to review business rates, and we have to talk not just to businesses but to freeholders. Because one of the problems in London is you've got some freeholders who have a very thoughtful long-term approach to rents, but you have others which jack rents up in a really short-term way. And I think you want to talk to those people to see how we can achieve a more sustainable economy in London.
I want to work with the businesses to see, look, I don't want to do anything that can inadvertently damage your business. I want to work with you to ensure we have a West End that grows and that thrives and that prospers. There's no reason why you can't have a profitable business and be environmentally friendly.
This street that has all these emblematic stores like Selfridges and the like needs to be somewhere where people feel it is pleasant to be.